In this example for the Watts 4930-6920 GIS class, we're going to look at some places where we might collect data for our GIS projects. Specifically in this example, we'll look at three different sites. The Utah Automated Geographic Reference Center, shown on the screen now. The USGS Seamless Data Warehouse, we'll look at second. And finally, the National Atlas homepage. This is by no means all of the places that you can get GIS data, but it is a good start. So here at the AGRC website, you have a number of options over here. And if you look down here, it says user login, username, password. You don't have to actually have a username and password to get this data. This data is available for public download for free without any passwords or logins. If you do want to create a login, that's fine, and you become a member of the website and you get any updates of information that they might have pertaining to GIS data or GIS things that are going on in the state of Utah. So specifically, let's take a look at the data and resources. Okay, looking here at the data and resources, we can see that they have a number of different things. They have, of course, their disclaimer. They have downloading the GIS data from SGID, which is what we'll like to look at. They also have some other data standards information, and importantly, how you can connect to map servers if you should ever want to connect to their online map and data servers. So we're going to go here and click Download GIS Data from the SGID, and we get another index page. So we look here, we have vector and raster GIS data. They separate it out nicely by index, by category, name, or they have a data selector. And also have our raster data. We have pretty good raster data for the state of Utah, including various types of aerial imagery, USGS topo maps with and without the collar around the outside, and then elevation and terrain data, or digital elevation models, and some LiDAR data. Let's quickly look at the vector data here, and you can see that it separates it out by category. So we have listed here biosciences all the way to water, and we can sort through each one of these things. Let's quickly go back and take a look at the elevation data, or excuse me, the raster data, which includes elevation data. So raster GIS. And note we have aerial photography, USGS DRGs, or digital raster graphs, and elevation and terrain. Let's quickly look at our aerial photography first. We have 8 different items in here to select from. Some will be relevant to your area, some will not. We have the 2009 HRO 1-foot color orthophotography that's available. So this was flown in 2009. We have 2009 NAPE data. That's 1 meter. This is statewide. The HRO 1-foot data is not statewide. It's limited mainly to major urban areas. The Wasatch Front, the Cache Valley, St. George, Washington County area, and a few others. And then we have similar data for 2006, 2003, some black and white ortho data from the 1990s, and then some 1977 data for Salt Lake County. Let's go back one. All very useful data. Let's look at our topo maps. You should be familiar with USGS topo maps. And all the topo maps for the entire state are available here, scanned at 250 dpi. You can download these for printing purposes, using as a base layer in your map making, and so on. And they also happen to have those that have the collars, which is the outside of the map, or no collars. So those are both available in case you want to mosaic multiple quad maps together to get something slightly larger for your area. Okay, going back, let's take a quick look at our elevation and terrain data. This is possibly one of the most useful areas. Digital elevation models are very useful. We'll talk more about them in the future. But to look at these, we have 2 meter LiDAR data, 2 meter contour data. We saw that earlier. 10, 30, and 90 meter DEMs. Now this is the one where we'll specifically would be most important to you if you chose to get digital elevation models from the AGRC. The 10, 30, and 90 meter are continuous for the state, but you can go ahead and download them in the 7.5 minute 24K quad blocks for each one of those, except for the 90 meter, which is in the 1 by 1 degree 250K block. When you do download them, you'll see it's an FTP site, and it helps to actually know which one of these files you're trying to download, but but you have this PDF that you can click on, and you can look through the information to find out what the quad name and number are for the area of your interest for the property EM. Let's move over to the Seamless Data Warehouse. The Seamless Data Warehouse is hosted by the USGS and provides a lot of freely available data, including elevation data for the entire country. We have the National Elevation Data Set, or NED, 1 degree, 1/3 degree, or 1/9. 1 degree is a 30-meter data set, 1/3 degree is a 10-meter data set, and 1/9 is a 5-meter data set. Alright, so let's go ahead and check out the Seamless Viewer, which is down here. The Seamless Viewer is going to bring up this map, and from time to time, depending on the browser you're working in, some things may work, some things may not. It can be a little finicky, but generally speaking, I use Chrome, and Chrome seems to work fairly well with it. So as you can see here, lots of different tools, but you can zoom in. For instance, if we wanted to zoom in on Utah, we could zoom in on that area, and layers change as we zoom in. But you can see we have all different things over here that we can begin to display. We have places, different extents, we have transportation such as roads, railroads, airports, we have boundaries, so state, county boundaries, imagery again, land cover types, and elevation data. We also have the opportunity to click on download. If we click on download here, we can see that we can select any of these things, and then we can select an area in which we want to download. Specifically here, what I would do is I would perhaps I wanted to select elevation data, and I wanted the 1/3 data, and perhaps I wanted to zoom in here to Cache Valley, or Cache County I should say, in this region here. I could come over here and I could define the rectangular download area that I wish to download. So I'm going to click there, and I could just highlight the area I was interested in getting the digital elevation models for. I would release that. It runs a quick process, and resulting in this download form that I can then click download, and I can go ahead and download the data. That's the same with any of this other data that's available here. Many different things that you can download from the Seamless Data site. I will say that downloading elevation data here is sometimes easier than downloading it from the AGRC, because you can get it in larger continuous blocks, and it makes it slightly easier to work with. Okay, lastly we're just going to go on to the National Atlas site. And these are all state or federal sites. The National Atlas houses quite a lot of data that has to do with everything from agriculture to water, but you can search through here and you can actually find map layers. So we look at map layers. We can come in here, and I won't download anything, but I'll give you an idea of what's here. We have agricultural census for 2002 and 2007. We have different types of boundaries, county boundaries. They're usually very well maintained. We have climate data, different types of climate data, references, transportation, water, and so on and so forth. We won't go through all of those, but they are fairly straightforward to download. Once you get here, you can view the layer to see what it looks like, and then you can go on to download that data if you wish. So that's a short summary of a few places to find data. There's a number of other spots. Most states have some kind of repository for GIS data, so you can Google that site and find out what, or look for the data that you're searching for, and see if the states have it. There are other national organizations. There's U.S. Census that has much GIS data.